Rise, awake, and do not stop until the goal is reached. I begin my speech quoting the words of the man who ignited the young minds of youth all over the world with his thoughts. Swami Vivekananda, the greatest youth icon and the inspiration for many young hearts in India and all around the world. On a pleasant day like today, I'm Rekhani from Shrimati Indira Gandhi College, extremely glad to be here and to share with you all why Swami Vivekananda is an empowering force to youngsters. India is one of the youngest nations of the world, as we all know, with more than 65% of the population under the age of 35, which makes other countries the most envious of this nation. The ideals and philosophies of Swami Vivekananda is a great inspiration and motivation to the young adults who easily get into a slump or the youths who are in quest for meaningfulness and liberty. Swami Vivekananda's ideals inspires the heart, liberates the mind and ignites the soul. He epitomized his teaching through his own life. He was dynamic, vibrant and the very embodiment of youth. His confidence in the younger generation is obvious in his words. He said, "My faith is in the younger generation, the modern generation. Out of them will come my workers. They will work out the whole problem like lions." He bestowed upon the youth confidence and power. He felt that faith in oneself is more important than faith in God. Quoting his words, "You cannot believe in God until you believe in yourself." Swami Vivekananda firmly believed that dedication and endeavor is essential to attain success. He said, "To succeed, you must have tremendous perseverance, tremendous will. I will drink the ocean," says the persevering soul. "At my will, mountains will crumble up." Have that sort of energy, that sort of will. Work hard and you will reach the goal. Pursuing a challenge with utmost adherence will help anyone reach their goal, and Swami Vivekananda preached exactly this. This great man conquered the hearts of the people all around the world with his idealistic thoughts. He understood that undertaking any social change calls for enormous energy and willpower. So he wanted the youth to gather their strengths together and he emerged them to prepare themselves mentally and physically. His simple and effective messages to the youth has paved the way for many to achieve their goals and to attain the purpose of their lives. The great spiritual leader and philosopher said, "Youth life is the most precious life. Youth is the best time. The way in which you utilize this period will decide the nature of coming years that lie ahead of you." His influence, thoughts, and the works that he initiated gained momentum, and as years passed by, they ultimately reached a fulfillment. He understood human nature and human weaknesses better than anyone. The great poet Rabindranath Tagore said, "He gave us something which brings us a certain pride in our inheritance. He did not spare us." Swami Vivekananda's activist ideology related to the desire for the political change among many young hearts and minds. He fostered new enthusiasm for progress among the youth, so much that the whole nation celebrates his birthday anniversary as National Youth Day. As a figure of highest ideals and great thoughts, Swami Vivekananda inspired and encouraged many youths who had lost their path and the ones who have struggled to find their way. He is the epitome of kindness and selflessness, as he wanted to serve the gods in humans. He fills the young minds with the power of self-realization and character information. He helped them to recognize their inner strength and to have an optimistic outlook on life. He encouraged them to do selfless service to others and to make tireless efforts to pursue and achieve success. He emphasized selfless love as the true aim of divinity. How great! He compared love with divinity when it is selfless. He also promoted scientific thinking, becoming the most remarkable person in the modern movement of India. He also addressed widespread poverty and the social issues. He worked tirelessly towards the betterment of the society, sacrificing and dedicating his all for this country. The current state of the youth in the country is that they are lost and discouraged. They are struggling hard to keep up to the pressures of the society and are in sloth. In a situation like this, his words are to be rung to the youth. Take up one idea, make that idea your life. Dream of it, think of it, live on that idea. Let the brain, the body, the muscles, the nerves, and every part of your body be full of that idea and just leave every other idea alone. This is the way to success, and this is the way great spiritual giants are produced. All power is within you. You can do anything and everything. His words are for all ages and true at that. That is why his ideals are relevant even today. This great human being lived a very short life of 39 years, but he never failed to convey and spread his message of love. He truly is an inspiration to all generations. Let me end my speech quoting the spiritual master just as I began. In a conflict between the mind and the heart and the brain, follow your heart. I wish success to all the dreamers and visionaries who have painted a beautiful picture of what the world might look in future. Thank you for your time and interest in listening about the great philosopher Swami Vivekananda.
Take risk in your life. If you win, you may lead. If you lose, you may guide. Take risk in your life. If you win, you may lead. If you lose, you may guide, says Swami Vivekananda. A very pleasant day to you all, respected members and my dear friends. I am Gladio Falistelna from Shrimati Indira Gandhi College, Trichy, and I am here to talk about Swami Vivekananda as an empowering force to youngsters. Every year, since 1985, the Government of India observes 12 January, the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda, as National Youth Day. To quote from the Government of India's communication, it was felt that the philosophy of Swamiji and the principles and the ideals for which he lived and worked for could be a great source of inspiration for the youngsters in India today. India is one among the youngest nations in the world, with 65% of population under 33 years of age. The youth are the most dynamic and vibrant segment of population in any country. Swami Vivekananda once said, "Whatever you think, that you will be. If you think yourself weak, weak you will be. If you think yourself strong, strong you will be. Whatever you think, that you will be. If you think yourself weak, weak you will be. If you think yourself strong, strong you will be." His message was simple yet powerful. His message was simple yet powerful. He has conveyed his ideas directly to the people, especially to the youngsters. His ideas has broke through the shackles of caste creed and spoke of a language with universal brotherhood. What he said has captured the great importance of the ideals and the ideas of his work by the youngsters of our country today. He has personified the eternal energy of the youth and their restless quest for truth. Swami Vivekananda said, "See for the highest, aim at that highest, and you shall reach the highest. See for the highest, aim at that highest, and you shall reach the highest." But how to make the youth realize the relevance of Swami Vivekananda in these enduring and challenging times? On one hand, the people and the nation has involved a noble task by creating awareness and the leadership qualities of the youth by involving themselves in various nation-building activities. And on the other hand, people are facing challenges like poverty, corruption, unemployment, terrorism, etc. Swami Vivekananda said, "All power is within you. You can do anything and everything. All power is within you. You can do anything and everything." According to Swami Vivekananda, education is the most important weapon. education is the most important weapon. According to him, education means the empowerment to the people. He also says that it is the most important thing that every individual should do. He says real education is when one enabled to be stand on one's own legs. He says that education plays a secular part by inculcating within students the part to be a leader and the human values, that is truthfulness, fearfulness, simplicity, humbleness, faithfulness, etc. The government is also taking steps to convert the ideas and his teachings of Swami Vivekananda into the conflict in the current text. The government has also sanctioned the value education product of Ramakrishna Mission to inculcate in students the values of Swami Vivekananda and his teachings so that the future citizen could be a bright citizen and they would inculcate a good leadership within them because the youth of today are the future of tomorrow. And thus, I would like to say that Swami Vivekananda's speech is really an empowering speech for the youth. And thus, I would like to conclude my speech with the sayings of Swami Vivekananda. Teach yourself. Teach everyone his real nature. Wake up the souls, sleeping souls. Wake up the sleeping souls and see how it awakes. Power will come. Glory will come. Goodness will come. Purity will come. And everything that is excellent will come when these sleeping souls are roused with self-consciousness. Thank you.
Adolf Hitler proved the importance of youth in nation building. Any rule has an exception. 16 to 30 years are considered to be the youth category. Exceeding this, maybe, is it 50 or 75? No, it's 159. I'm glad and proud to address about the 159 years old young man. I repeat, 159 years old young man who is still an inspiring person in everyone's life. Swami Vivekananda. He says, talk to yourself at least once a day. Otherwise, you may miss meeting an excellent person in the world. Yes, I am going to share with the young village of a nation. We are going to talk within ourselves. Youth life is the most precious life. Strength is life, and weakness is death. All the quotes given by Swamiji are bombshells. Even a coward hears a single word of Swamiji, he will become our brave man. India was on a wrong view that all of us were fools and all Indians were considered as the people who believed in all superstitious beliefs and activities. And they thought India is a slave and doesn't have any own thinking capacity. Swamiji smashed all these dog mashes and his Chicago lecture as representing India in the name of a Hindu monk. The line wrote, Sisters and Brothers of America, followed by the clash for about 2 minutes. This quote penetrated in everyone's heart and it hardly shook and the false hope and the change of the wrong side ended. It created a great impact after this incident, and they all started keeping a huge respect mixed with a wider view. And it was a great triumph written from Chicago for Swamiji. Then his words, arise, awake, stop, stop till the goal is reached. I get goosebumps when I say this. This was quoted by Swamiji on a speech in India in our own Tamil Nadu at Kumbakonam. He slowly seeped into all the hearts of youngsters and fills up with a still same person positive thoughts and encourages us by saying, take up one idea. Make that one idea of your life. Dream want that idea, let the brain, the body, the muscles, nose, every part of your body be the full of that idea and just leave every other idea alone. This is the way to the success, and this is the way great spiritual giants are produced. Simultaneously, for the youngsters on the part of education, he says, education is manifested of perfection and to be present in a man. So, education is something which is there within us. It just shows how much we strive or how much we desire to learn something new, and which is something not bound by time, place, or age. So, education should be man making, character building, and life giving. So each one of the children must get this type of education and they should grow on the footprint steps of Swamiji because he challenges that give me 100 energetic young men and I shall transform India. His faith in Indian youth never wavered. True to the topic, Swami Vivekananda is an empowering force to youngsters. Let us join together and make his dream come true. Thank you.
A pleasant day to you all, respected members and my dear friends. I am Divya from Shrimati Indira Gandhi College here to speak upon the topic Vivekananda as an empowering force to youngsters. Swami Vivekananda is the greatest youth icon produced by India and one that influenced millions of youth across the world. In the 21st century, when the youth of India are facing new problems, pushing boundaries and aspiring for a better future, thoughts of Swami Vivekananda has become more relevant. His ideas can be understood by his fourfold mantra to live a meaningful life: physical, social, intellectual and spiritual quest. Physical quest. By physical quest, he meant taking care of the human body and undertaking activities to mitigate physical sufferings. Swami Vivekananda saw the view that the youth can lead a successful life only when they are physically fit. Vivekananda understood that while most youth aspire, not only all are equipped with the mental and physical stamina to pursue such a goal. Therefore, he asked the youth to overcome fears and become stronger physically and mentally. He said, "Power is within you. You can do anything and everything. Believe in that. Do not believe that you are weak. Therefore, arise, awake and stop not till the goal is reached." Social quest. Vivekananda wanted the youth to undertake social activities not merely for the betterment of the society but also for their individual evolution and growth. Running hospitals, orphanages and old age homes qualified for this level. He advised the youth to serve God in men. Vivekananda clubbed spiritualism with social service. He taught that men and animals around us are our gods who deserve our worship and services. He asserted that the first gods we have to worship are our countrymen. We have to worship instead of being jealous of each other and fighting each other. The most unique contribution of Swami Vivekananda towards the creation of New Bharat was opening the mind of Indians to their duty to the downtown intellectual quest. He said, "It is the young, the strong and healthy of a sharp intellectual that will reach the Lord." He advocated intellectual quest, in other words, running schools, colleges and awareness and empowerment programs, raising one's intellectual level, gaining knowledge and spreading and sharing it with the society is the objective. He suggested to rebuild the Indian society, education was a primary means for empowering the people. He emphasized on the education for all, spiritual quest. He then prescribed the highest level of spiritual service, one of dhyan and sadhana. Today, when our youth find themselves gripped by increasing isolation, purposefulness, depression and mental fatigue. Despite material success, they must go for a spiritual quest and achieve greater goals. He said, life is short, but the soul is immortal and eternal, and one thing being certain, death. Let us therefore take up a great idol and give up our whole life to it. He challenged the youth to live for a noble reason, a mighty ideal and a higher state, so that they were able to transit the impediments. Vivekananda advised these four quests as an ideal and a goal for the youth. The purpose of these services was to raise the individual and national conscience as a whole. That's why he called upon the youth to focus their collective energies towards the nation building. He also talked about the unity of society, something that finds an echo in today's world when we witness conflict at various levels. Swami Vivekananda is often aptly described as a karma yogi. He exemplified his teachings through his own life. The relevance of Swami Vivekananda today is with the ideals and goals that he devised for the youth. Each individual can begin with himself by preparing himself for a greater cause. Understanding Swami Vivekananda and his messages and putting it across our youth can be the simplest way to address many problems faced by India today. It is high time for the youth to come forward once again by shedding their fears and taking up the cudgels to shape up India. Thank you.